had some flipping good times in that garden. I mean, I've had some terrifying times in there and all, and some indifferent times that aren't worth mentioning, but we've had some good ones, you know. I remember when Barry Duncan brought his pony round. Baz, you know him, Baz Mataz they call him. I don't call him Barry Duncan, but he's Dean's dad, and he's got the pony and trap. You used to see him, not anymore, but he used to work under the name. If you ever had his card, he were the Gypsy King, but then the band got in touch and started a lawsuit to make him change it. They tried and he wouldn't, and then some Irish navvies visited him and made him change it and have a tarmac driveway where the grass was fine. Anyway, so it's the same service, isn't it? You know, rose by any other name. Still keeps the home fires burning, doesn't it, as they say. So he did birthdays, fates. You know, you can pet the horse and comb its mane and that. Barbecues, weddings, funerals. I don't know if you could pet it at the funeral. It would probably just drag in the body, wouldn't it? But Kathy and I put on a party. When I say Kathy and I, she were alive then. When I say Kathy and I mean Kathy. Put on a party for Christian and Julian. They were about 2, I think. Or 6. I don't know. Under 10. Yeah, anyway, so we put on a party for them. We had like a paddling pool, the pony, and a pig roast and a barbecue. Now, in retrospect, the barbecue were a terrible idea, and so were the paddling pool, because I don't know if I've told you before, I probably have, that Christian and Julian were born fully pubic, with men's-sized genitalia, which, I were quite proud of, but, everybody else, it terrified. I don't know if you've ever seen a child with pubes. It's quite disconcerting until you get used to it, and, parents can say what they want. They are competitive, and they couldn't compete with it. The pony would have been hard-pressed to compete with that. Runs in the family, though, that. And, so the horse has got a bag that fits over its nose that it eats from. There's a name for it, but for now, let's just call it the bag that goes over the horse's nose that it eats from. Anyway, so it's chomping away quite merrily. Unbeknownst to Baz and me and Kathy, they'd gone into the house, fetched some cloves out of the spice rack and loads of cinnamon, put that in there. They'd gone upstairs and taken Kathy's Valiumazepine out and put that in there, and also some weed that they'd found on the floor out in the street, not here. And, I don't know, it could have been Kathy, probably weren't. I'm not saying everyone's got skeletons in the belfry, isn't they, if you look hard enough. But anyway, this horse starts falling asleep, then it starts having a nightmare, no pun intended, and it wakes up and tries to go sleepwalking, running, clopping around, tearing up the grass, it were. And it went ape shit. Well, it didn't go, it went horse shit. It went off its rocker, and I'm cutting a shagging dog story short here, but 16 children were trampled upon, but that were Christian and Julian. They just took advantage of the melee. 8 of them were stampled upon by the horse, which many were burned. Kathy nearly drowned. She got knocked into the paddling, which is ironic, really, considering the way she died, which is, the inquest said it were a water-based suicide, but I don't think she was scared of water. I think them two were something to do with it, if I'm being completely frank with you. It were a sunny day. All I'm saying is, it was a sunny day, and they came home soaking, soaked to the pants and socks through they were. So, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, so many crushed, many burned, nearly drowned. What else? Oh, Baz, he were holding its lead and snapped off one of his fingers clean off. But you can lose a finger, can't? No, a thumb. It were a thumb, which is, you need them. You need your thumbs. You've got to have thumbs in life. You can't wear gloves. You can't indicate small amounts. I mean, a thumb is way worse than a finger. A thumb's probably worth 3 fingers. Yeah, so, and he got a really bad concussion as well, so he can't balance now. For the rest of his life, he can't balance on the floor unless he lies down on it, which can be a roadblock, can't it? I had to pay him off over 700 quid. I had to buy the pony. I don't know what it would call. It would be Glooby now anyway, but I couldn't have that around Christian and Julian. They'd have interfered with it anyway. So yeah, sold the pony to the knackers. I bought him a wheelchair, special wheelchair, and I built him a ramp. But this special wheelchair, they cost a foot. I had to buy him a shawl as well to go over his legs, because no one wants to see withered, wasted old man legs, do they? They look like, when they're in the cold, and they look like corned beef, because there wasn't a spot of hair on them. Christian and Julian had more hair on their legs than him, but and he never had another pony again, and broke his heart. He has got a monkey now, and it sits on its shoulder. I don't know what its name is, Derek or something, Gary. And this monkey's on a chain, which is illegal, because you can't bring a... I think it's illegal to have choke chains, isn't it? So, but it's better than it's better chaining it up than letting it do what it wants to do, which according to this week's newspaper is scratch toddlers' faces. So it ran a muck. They've got something, you've got to be careful with them. They're mucky, ain't they? Dirty blood. Something in it. They started off, where did they start? Something that's got an initial... tetanus. Tetanus. And mucky pups. No, TB. TB. You need an injection for it.